Hi, Genevieve Jacobs from Region Media, and with me is Arts Minister Tara Cheyne. Last week saw the release of a major new arts ambition, which points to an important and evolving new role for the arts and creative industries within the ACT's community and within the ACT economy. What is an ambition though? What does it mean? Minister, terrific to have you with me. There's $13.5 million for the arts in the forthcoming budget in the next day or two. The last arts policy, though, was set in 2015. So what's an ambition? What is this all about?
Great. Thanks so much for having me today, Genevieve. It's a real pleasure to be able to expand on it. So our statement of ambition sets what we're trying to do in our arts sector in the ACT. Who are we? Who do we want to be? And beneath that, what are the routes or how are we going to get there? So the statement of ambition, the ambition itself, is for Canberra to be recognised as Australia's arts capital, recognised domestically, but also recognised internationally. So that's the, if you will, the destination. Beneath that, three broad strategies. The how we're going to get there, or the routes, if you will, if we use that sort of analogy. And so they are broadly creating amazing art everywhere, all the time, for everyone, really accessible art that you can easily participate in. There's also develop, essentially investing in our industry, our individual practices, our organisations and our facilities. And also promote. That's telling people. It's as simple as that.
So this leads us, in terms of arts and the creative industries, into quite a distinctive new role within the ACT economy. There's very much a sense that we're on the brink of that being a major driver for the ACT economy if all this comes to fruition. I'm wondering about the balance between arts practice and arts business, whether there's a risk that individual practitioners don't fit into this model. What's the point at which those things come into balance?
I think what is really important is that the ACT arts community is an ecosystem. And so there's no one thing that is bigger or better than the others. There is a role for everybody, every single person, every single practitioner, but also every single organisation and every single facility about how we're going to achieve the ambition. So it's not one or the other. It's not about making difficult choices here. It's about how do we all fit within this ecosystem. But if we all have quite a very transparent vision, a common goal of where we're heading to, I think that gives some coherence to what we're trying to do.
Look, I should disclose here that I've chaired your Creative Council, which has brought the voices of many artists towards advising on policy. A couple of big ticket items here: an arts expo, the long-awaited push for listing as an international city of design. Tell me about those two major objectives.
Yeah, so these are, and again, if I go back to that analogy, these objectives are about the kind of the milestones or the tangible markers to help us know that we're on our way to being recognised as Australia's arts capital. So the Arts Expo, I guess, Genevieve, I'm really inspired by World Expo 88, and so I'll compress it down. We're not repeating World Expo 88, but I think what it did for Brisbane, what it did for Queensland, really setting it on the map and showcasing everything that it had over a months-long period. That's what I'd really like to recreate at a Canberra level for our arts sector, and really the culmination, I suppose, of those three strategies. That, this is showcasing the industry and the practices that we have here, showcasing the artists themselves, and that will in turn attract more people here, that we can showcase our education institutions, also simply our organisations, our facilities, but also just bring the city alive with art everywhere all the time, and really kind of going back to that what's associated with the ambition, that no matter where you are or who you are, that you want to be in Canberra, engaging in or participating in or practicing the arts in some form. So we want people to want to come here and to be part of that. And I think an expo where we have a very common understanding that we're showing everything that we've got here over in a really concentrated way, but a really festival-like way over several months is an exciting way to do that.
And if you could just talk to that International City of Design listing. Craft ACT has done a huge amount of work on this in the past. It's also been a favourite of tourism. There's a real sense that we've got between our tertiary institutions, between the mid-century legacy of architecture and design, the demographic of people that are here, that there's a real opportunity to position ourselves among a fairly select list of cities around the world that have got these particular qualities that then drives tourism and all kinds of other endeavours.
Yeah, that's you summed it very well, Genevieve. Yes, that's exactly right. So I think Canberra, we know it's a city of design, but it's about whether we take a next step in terms of formalising that or formalising it with our branding. And there are different ways that we could do that, and one of them is through becoming a UNESCO City of Design. But that has costs associated with it. It also will really kind of make firm some of the decisions that we take. And so that's something that we really want to discuss with the community, is it a UNESCO City of Design that we want to be, or do we simply just brand ourselves as a City of Design? There's some different options here, and it's something that I want to take back to the community and really piece out what are we trying to do here, and what's the value for us. And my initial thinking, and having had discussions with Craft ACT and yourself and others, is that there is real value, but it's just about how exactly are we going to do it.
On that, there's this compelling vision for the city's artistic evolution. There's a number of really exciting things happening with creative industries. Although there's $4.5 million in the budget for the Canberra Theatre, we still don't have the really significant amount of funding that goes towards that major project from which so much hangs. Tourism, hospitality, accommodation, all sorts of other things depend on that evolution of the Canberra Theatre into a vision where we can bring really big stage shows, we can become a major regional theatre centre, we can reclaim the National Capital's space as a centre of national excellence in theatre. Why not? What's going on? Why is it taking us so long to get to this point?
Well, Genevieve, there's a really big investment for the Canberra Theatre Centre in the site investigation and planning. So that is actually, I would hope, a really strong signal to everyone that we are getting on with this, that we are taking a big step forward to go exactly what do we want here. That will help inform the business case, the broader precinct, and yeah, it's not a number to be sneezed at. It's just shy of $3 million. So I do hope that's sending the right signal to our sector here in the ACT, but also more broadly throughout Australia. Associated with that, you'll see in the papers, is that we do have some extra funding, quite significant funding for vocational education and training at the Canberra Theatre Centre. So again, continuing to develop who we have in our important facilities, but also there's funding for Canberra Museum and Gallery, which is probably the most fantastic hidden gem that we've got in the ACT. And my desire is to take away the hidden aspect and just make it a gem. So really intending to get the museum and gallery to be a bit more outward facing, to be interacting a bit better in the Civic Square and the Canberra Theatre Centre precinct, whether people are attending shows or simply going to the museum and gallery itself, giving it a better positioning, I suppose, as we move into where we're heading.
Minister, thank you so much for your time and for taking us through this, I think, really important step point for the arts here in the ACT. It's been great to have you with us.
Oh, thanks so much, Genevieve. Always a pleasure.
I'm Genevieve Jacobs. This is Region Media.